The word on the street is that Iran is planning an attack on Israel, and it could happen at any second. It may have already started. Tony Katz today. Good to be with you. The word is that Benjamin Netanyahu has spoken out, the prime minister of Israel, to say to the Iranians, anytime, we can get to you at any time. I mean, the translation of that is, do you really understand how good Mossad is? Doesn't matter where you are, Ayatollah Khomeini. You're sleeping, you're out for a jog, you're eating some ice cream, whatever it is you do, there is nowhere we cannot strike. So sleep well. I mean, that's the argument that Netanyahu is making. And there's a very, very different take here. You've got President Trump putting out, the world is on fire and spiraling out of control. We have no leadership, no one running the country. We have a non-existent president in Joe Biden and a completely absent vice president, Kamala Harris, who's too busy fundraising in San Francisco, a city which she and Gavin Newsom, he refers to him as Newsom, totally destroyed and staging fake photo ops. No one is in charge, and it's not even clear who is more confused, Biden or Kamala. Neither has any idea what is even going on. When I was president, Iran was in total check. And he goes on from there. If I was in charge, October 7th never happens, and you've heard me discuss this. Maybe October 7th and the attack from Hamas, a terrorist organization, where they killed 1,200 Israelis and others. They raped women. They burned babies alive. They took hostages. Maybe it never happened. But there is an argument to be made that maybe this response doesn't happen either. And I am more convinced than ever that while the Israelis never would have wanted October 7th, that Israel's positioning now is taking a look at the world and taking a look at where this administration is and saying it is us or it is death. It is now or it is never. We have no friends. So therefore, we have to destroy our enemies. We cannot leave this to chance any longer. We can't get lucky a second time. And by the way, can you imagine considering the death of 1,200, quote unquote, lucky? Because what if the next attack is worse, is stronger, is more aggressive? What if they are again, as they were on October 7th, asleep at the switch? And this isn't just about Israel. This is about us. It's always, always, always been about us, about Western civilization, about Western culture. It's about Christians. And I am amazed at the number of Christians, not who get it, but who still don't get it. They don't understand that this is about them. This is about any life that isn't the one that the Ayatollah and these radical Islamists have dreamt for you. How many terror groups, terror cells are in the United States right now because of the poor border that has been put forth by Joe Biden and Kamala Harris? I believe Israel looked at the moment and said to themselves, now's the time. No. We are going to so degrade our enemy that if we can't destroy them, if we can't just kill them dead, at the very least, maybe it'll take them 10 to 15 years to build back. And honestly, not a bad place to start. And that's what I think they've done. The idea that they just willy-nilly engaged these pagers to all blow up. How many years of planning was this? The killing of the Hamas leader, I think it was the number 2, in Tehran, at this encampment where they bring dignitaries. I mean, that didn't happen just all by itself. That took time. That took planning. It took a tremendous amount of focus. And then they decided to execute it at the time that they needed to. There was a report where the I don't know. It wasn't Ahmadinejad. I don't know who the president of Iran is right now. I'm forgetting the election that took place. Because remember, the president of Iran was killed in that helicopter crash. Was it Mossad? Was it not? Who knows? Well, we were going to do this, and we were going to have the person in charge of XYZ group go in and handle things. But then we learned that the head of the XYZ group that we had to handle the Israelis was actually a Mossad agent himself. I mean, they're everywhere. They are absolutely positively everywhere. What Mossad has done, what Israel has done to infiltrate their enemy, and they've been doing it for years. And why pick now for all of these attacks? They must see a moment. But more to this than the attacks, the response from Israel, and the possibility of a response from Iran, is what it is we've learned from this. And what we have learned from this is what really has the political left most angry, most infuriated. What we learned from this is that everything they have said about escalation is wrong. Don't escalate. No, you don't want to increase tensions in the region. No, you don't want to move the embassy. That's going to increase tensions. No, you don't want to respond. That's going to increase tensions. And if you increase tensions, well, then it'll be all-out war. I think what the Israelis have proved is that these terrorists aren't very good at war. They're good at attacks. They're not good at war. The Israelis are good at war. The Israelis are good at planning. The Israelis are good at thinking and being proactive. The Israelis are good at being targeted and trying to engage as few actual civilian casualties as possible. The terrorists are indiscriminate killers and don't give a good holy damn who they kill. But they can't actually fight in a concerted, concentrated way. And the idea that it's going to exacerbate tensions, you have got Lebanese people and Syrians and Iranians cheering the death of the Hezbollah leader, Nasrallah, because they know that all of this stuff is garbage for them. This isn't the life that they want to lead, not in the slightest. So the left has been desperate to keep Israel from reacting, therefore taking more shots from the people who they clearly support. I mean, if you're on the political left and you think that the United Nations Relief Work Agency is of value, well, I mean, you just support terrorists at this stage of the game. That is it. If you support the UN and you support UNRWA, the United Nations Relief and Works Agency for Palestine refugees, you support terrorists. They worked with Hamas to engage attacks on Israelis. And as the Associated Press is reporting, the top Hamas commander killed in Lebanon was a UNRWA employee placed on administrative leave. The entire organization is lousy with terrorists who want us dead. You think this is about Israel, but we know better. Anybody who supports the UNRWA is a supporter of terrorism. We're not debating here. We're not going to pretend that, well, we'll agree to disagree. Nah, you're a terrorist supporting freak. Well, not you, they. And how much more proof could one possibly need? But all this talk about all the support this group needs and that group needs from the UN, nope. That was about plotting and planning against our allies. All this talk about, you can't respond, it'll actually exacerbate tensions. No. The region wants this to stop. They would like to get on with their lives now. There are Islamists. There are these terrorists. There are these radicals. Yeah, those people have to be destroyed. Everybody else might not like Israel. Honestly, who cares? Not everybody likes everybody, but they'd like to get on with their lives. They want to get on with their lives. They're desperate to get on with their lives. And when these terrorists are gone, they can. When the Ayatollah is gone, they can. And this is what Israel has proven. Israel has proven that it is not the way the left of the world, and specifically the American left, envisions it. It is, without question, a world that without terrorists, people may not like each other, but they'll move forward. And they'll have disagreements here and then, and there might be skirmishes here and then. But get rid of this. These terrorists and these terrorist supporters. You got a chance for a life. That's the lesson learned here. So Iran may attack, if they haven't already. Tel Aviv, according to Mike Tobin Fox, central Israel on high alert. There has been reporting of a shooting in Jaffa where people were shot on the streets. I didn't say it was going to be easy. I didn't say it was going to be clean. But Israel has proven that the old methodology was a bad methodology. And maybe we learn a valuable lesson that we should have learned from World War II, that we should have learned from the Civil War, that we should have learned from the Revolutionary War. One does not go to war for light or transient causes, but sometimes there is a reason to go to war. There is a reason to say it is us or it is our enemy. Somebody has to win and somebody has to lose, and you have to put it all on the line. Our lives, our fortune, and our sacred honor. They have to go on the line. You can't live an isolationist world. You can't live an isolationist life. Sometimes you got to deal with the guy poking you. And the people who said you shouldn't, just let him poke, it's not too bad. Those people were actually in favor of your destruction. Now that we know this for sure, personally, I hope Israel is very, very successful. I hope the Ayatollah is gone. I hope Iran goes back to calling itself Persia and we can engage some trade and some tourism. And the same thing with Lebanon. There will still be disagreements. There's still going to be Sunni Shia fights and all sorts of things. But let's get rid of the terrorists and, I don't know, go have lunch. I'm Tony Katz.